Hi everybody and welcome to Teen Tuesday. This week we are making zombie dolls. Come a little closer and I'll show you how. To make your own zombie doll, you're going to need a few supplies. You will need a large piece of felt and 2 scrap pieces of felt, one black and one red or purple or pink. You'll need embroidery thread, a button, and a needle. You need a template, stuffing, scissors, and a pen or marker to trace your template onto the felt. Let's start by cutting out the template. Done. Now, you're going to need the big piece of felt and your marker. Just in case you didn't cut it out perfectly, and I know that I never do, number the sides 1 and 2 on your template. You're going to trace with 1 and then 2. That way, when you put them together, you won't see any of the markings from the marker. Here we go. Okay, now let's cut out our little people. Okay, so now we have our 2 pieces cut out. Take them and put them face to face so that the side, if you've got marker still showing, is on the inside, touching each other. Line them up and you'll be able to see if there are any pieces that are really sticking out, and you can trim that part off. Now pick one of them to be the front of your design. Grab your red or pink scrap. This piece we're going to use to make a heart for our zombie doll. So decide how big you'd like the heart to be, and you can either draw it with the marker or just freehand cut it. That's a little bit too big. Let me make that a little bit smaller. There you go. Now grab your black and the button. For this, we're going to cut out a piece of felt that is larger than your button. You can try and trace it. The black does show up a little bit on the black felt, or just cut out a circle. Here we go. Now grab your needle and your thread, and we're going to start sewing. Pull out some thread and put it on your needle. Okay, let's start with the eye. Decide where you would like your felt eye to go, or your button eye to go, and let's sew it in place. Coming from the back of the felt, up through the eyeball hole. Where is that? Right there. And back down. And tie. If you have 4 holes on your button, just pass through the holes in an X shape, and you've got it. Now decide where you would like the other eye to go. For this one, we are simply going to stitch an X. So, from the back, coming to the front, down, and then again from the back to the front and down. Now you have 2 eyeballs on your zombie doll. Next up is the mouth. For the mouth, we're going to do 1 long stitch across and then do a couple of vertical stitches to turn it into a mouth. So come up from the back and back down. This is going to be how wide the mouth is. And then a few times stitch this way, 3 or 4 times depending on how wide you've made your mouth. There we go. Now tie off the yarn. And cut off the extra. There we go. Now it's time to stitch on the heart. Place your heart where you would like it to appear on your zombie doll. And then we're just going to stitch it on with a whole bunch of little straight stitches. So, just going around. As many or as few stitches as you feel like for your heart. Then tie it off. If you would like, you can add some more embellishments onto your design. You could add a couple of stitches here or there. You could stitch across a leg to pretend like it was sewn on. You could add a couple zigzags. That is your choice. When you're done with stitching your designs onto the front and back of your design, it's time to stitch them together. So prepare a much longer piece of thread and grab your 2 pieces and stick them together so that the inside is together. And the inside would be, if you have any of the marker or pen still showing, you'd want that to be on the inside instead of the outside of your doll. So put those pieces together. If you have safety pins or other pins, you can use those to hold the pieces together while you're stitching. Otherwise, just be very careful and make sure you keep the edges lined up as you're stitching around. We're going to stitch most of the way around the design, leaving a bit here open so that we can fit the stuffing inside later on. So I'm going to start right here from the inside to the outside. And I'm going to leave a tail bit of thread hanging out so that I can secure my stitches at the end. And just stitch around the edges to bring them closed. Now that we've finished stitching almost all the way around our zombie doll, it's time to start stuffing him. So grab some stuffing, a little bit at a time, and stick it inside through the little gap we've left in the stitches. You may find that using the a pen or marker will help you get the stuffing into the narrower sections like his arms and legs. Okay, once you've got all the stuffing in there that you're gonna stick in there, and he's a good soft or hardness for you, now you get to finish stitching up the side. Here you're going to have to pinch the edge together with your fingers while you're working on it. And then when you reach where you started and left that gap before, we're gonna tie the thread together. So let's finish stitching him up. Alright, so when you reach the end, grab the beginning end of your thread and tie tightly. Then trim off the extra, and if you can use your needle to tuck the strings in so that you don't see them on the outside. And now you have a zombie doll. I hope you enjoyed today's craft of making zombie dolls. Next week, there will not be a video as our activity is an escape room. If you check the library's event calendar after the Teen Tuesday has passed, you'll find the link to the escape room that we attempt. The following week, join us again for etched glass candle holders. Happy Halloween!